tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Puttassa loka dhammehi cittang yassana kampati asokang virajang kemang etang mangala muttamang ti. Dear friends in Dhamma, homage to the Blessed One, the fully enlightened Buddha. Today, I would like to discuss with you how to handle the mind during the time of COVID-19. Now we are facing a great challenge in the human history. We have been able to challenge many challenges like this in the human history. There were pandemics, epidemics, there was wars, so tsunamis, and so many other kinds of calamities and destructions we have experienced, we have witnessed. So this is, if you look at this very big issue at the moment, how can we keep our mind unmoved? How can keep our mind not shaken by these kinds of different calamities we are facing? So, what are the effects we are experiencing at the moment due to the COVID-19? If you look at the society, there are so many people are losing their jobs, so many elderly people are dying, so many people are desperate, in unrest, live in unrest. And certain people I saw in the social media and the media, certain people even commit suicide by themselves due to the COVID isolation or due to the pressure that is created due to the isolation. And a lot of children are living in houses now, and a lot of unrest is prevailing in the society. Uncertainty is prevailing in the society. So we need to have a good strength, positive energy in our mind to face this challenge. To face this challenge, if you don't develop positive energy, positive vibration, or positive way of thinking, we can not overcome this sort of great challenges. So sometimes in the society, there are some religions, some teachings might give you false sense of security. Buddha said that this whole world is moving in 8 worldly conditions: gain and loss, honor and dishonor, fame and ill fame, happy and sad. These are interdependent and interchangeably occurring in our lives. None of us cannot escape these kinds of differences, these kinds of problems in our life. We have good times, we have bad times. We have happy times, we have sad times. Sometimes the kirti or our honor is spread so nicely. Sometimes our honor is lost in a second. And also, sometimes we are very happy, sometimes very sad. So this is the nature of life. Nobody can escape. Buddha himself also, even he has reached the state of highest mental liberation, highest end of the samsaric journey. Still, if you are living in this conditioned world, because we are living in a conditioned world, there are so many conditions are changing, so we cannot escape this kind of all the troubles and problems and difficulties and hindrances and issues we are facing. So, in the time of turmoil, in the time of troubles, in the times of problems, so what is important? Puttassa loka dhamme. While these worldly conditions are changing, chittang yasana kampati. If your mind is unshaken, if your mind is unmoved, that is very good. And if your mind don't become sorrowful, if your mind become very sad, that is a great thing. So we need to develop a mind which is not so confused and perplexed and our mind so agitated and no peace in our mind. So how to develop this? Once Buddha was Buddha was walking with a group of monks, and Buddha was very thirsty. He asked Venerable Ananda, the Buddha's own attendant, to go and fetch some drinking water. The area they were traveling, there was a little lake. It's not so very big, deep lake, a little lake. But that lake was situated on the cartway. The group of traders carrying their goods in a load of carts. So they were passing by, and they were just, when the Ananda went to this little lake, some women were having a bath and some people using the little lake. But the moment Ananda was reaching, the cart full of many loads of carts just passed through this small lake. So the clear water becomes so muddy, so dirty, it becomes very undrinkable. So then Ananda came back with his empty bowl and said to the Buddha, "I am very sorry, my Lord Buddha, the water is not consumable. It's dirty, it's muddy." So Buddha said, "Okay, let's sit down and relax and calm down our mind." And half an hour, the Buddha said again, "I am thirsty, could you go and fetch the water?" Ananda went there. The water was so nice, and all the muds have gone down to the bottom of the lake, and the mud was no more, and water has become more clear and clean. So Ananda could bring fresh bowl of water which could be drinkable. So what is the lesson we can learn from this very small story? This mind by nature is very pure. Buddha says, "Pabassaramidam bhikkhave cittam." This mind is pure by nature. But the very external things come into our mind and pollute it, spoil it, and make dirty. So if you allow your mind to settle down in times of restlessness, in times of troubles, you can see the problems very clearly. You can understand the problems very clearly. So the best way to face our problems in the times of this kind of very great scale problems is to let the mind to be settled, concentrated and relaxed. If you are very turbulent, if your mind is very turbulent, it's very difficult to mind to perceive things clearly and very precise way. I can remember one story. The famous inventor Mr. Thomas Alva Edison. He had a few factories near some forest, but there was a bushfire in America, recently in Australia also. We saw very great fires that burnt many animals and many houses. So this kind of fire was broke out, and his 5 factories were burning. And all the fire departments in that city in USA tried to control the fire, try to extinguish the fire, but unfortunately they were unsuccessful. And Thomas Alva Edison called his son, come wife, let's see the beautiful fire, we cannot see this again. With this fire, all our mistakes, all our problems will go away. But then the same evening, Thomas Alva Edison had a media briefing, said, I am now 68, I am weak and I am exhausted, but even though all the valuable things, my equipments, my machines, all are destroyed due to this bushfire, and the loss was immense. It's unrecoverable loss due to this great fire. But he said, I will rebuild again. I will stand again. So we need to understand that moment we fall down, there's a possibility, there's an opportunity for us to get up, stand up. No matter how deep you have fallen down, no matter how painful was the you were falling down, still there's a possibility, there's an opportunity for us to stand up. So in our nature, because our life is not something we can trust. Life throws away many things at us. We might go through very hard times, harsh problems. So there's a two way to face these problems. You can are you going through the problems, or are you growing through the problem? This is the difference. If you're going through the problem, that makes you very sad, that makes you very upset, that makes you very down. But if you are growing through problems, that means you use as a tool to grow your attitude, to grow through your understanding that you can overcome these problems. So we need to look at the problem and grow through it. It's an opportunity for us to enhance our experience, enhance our horizon, so that we can face it. Every problem, for example, recently during the time of Corona in Sri Lanka, there were many new inventions. Because when you have a challenge, the human nature, human brain has a huge capacity. We ignore them. We don't take seriously our capacities, our abilities, our skills. We undermine, we suppress, we think we cannot do it. This kind of negativities will make our possibilities impossible. Therefore, we need to look at how people face. We saw that new inventors find out new kinds of hand washing equipments, ventilators, and many masks, and sanitization machines, and self-quarantine machines. So many new inventions came within 1 or 2 weeks. That shows that in the times of pressure, in the times of trouble, there are more opportunities for us to come out from all the problems. So we must allow our mind to come up with these solutions. But normally when we think in a negative way, we block them. We don't allow to sprout out these thoughts into action. So we need to develop this kind of attitude. So if you see the problem as an opportunity for you, then it will release your burden, it will release your depression, it will release your difficulty in the mind. It's like you are solving the half of the problem because you see it as an opportunity, not as a challenge, not as a trouble for you. The great people do not give up. This is very the Buddha, Lord Buddha also explained, why me teva puruso yavat tassa nippada. You must make effort until you achieve your goal, until you reach your goal. So this is very important. We can get a good example from Mr. Honda. Honda was a Japanese man. He was born to a very quite poor family, and he learned in the university. And he designed a ring piston for the Toyota company. First time he was presented his product to the Toyota, and they rejected his entire invention and ridiculed at him, laughed at them. He never think, oh, I am going to give up. I don't want to do this project anymore. Oh, he never say. He again went back home. If they want to laugh, let them laugh. If they want to make ridicule of me, let them ridicule. But I won't give up. I will try again. Again he went home, and few months he drew some charts, drew some sketches, and built another ring piston with a new invention, in a new way, more efficient way, and bring it to the Toyota again, and this time they accepted it. And also granted him some money to set up a plant so that they can become a supplier of Toyota to produce these ring pistons. But unfortunately, it was during the time of the World War II, and everywhere the Americans' military aeroplanes were bombing to the Japan. Many places were bombed. And unluckily, Mr. Honda's newly built factory was also bombed by these American bombing raids. So he lost his factory. If he is a weak person, if he was very easily defeated, he should have accepted the defeat. He never gave up. He never get upset. So he thought during the time of the war there was a very great demand for the cement. So he invented a new type of cement, easily producible, and he built a factory for the cement. How he built the cement factory? Because those days the aeroplanes were carrying fuel tanks, extra fuel tanks, and once the fuel is used, in order to lighten the aircraft, they drop the fuel tanks. So in Japan, everywhere there were fuel tanks. There are a lot of steel you can use from these fuel tanks. So he used all this steel collected and used steel to build this cement factory. And once the war was over and the Japanese was defeated by the Americans and the world armies, and Japan was in a very bad, very critical situation economically, psychologically, and whole country was in a very bad state. So they wanted to come out of this sad period. They want to give up. They want to get rid of all these bad times. So all the Japanese people worked hard together as a team to rebuild their country. So in that time, Honda thought, what should I do? He didn't have any money to do anything because everything he got is destroyed due to the war. So he picks a motor, it's a small engine to his bicycle, and he go around the city looking for an opportunity. So when the people saw that he is having a motor in his cycle, foot cycle, other people also come and ask, can you make a small motorcycle machine for me, engine for me? So he picks 10 or 20 some engines to the foot bicycles, and they were happy. So he thought, oh, there's an opportunity for me to make a business. So he handwrite 500 letters to some foot bicycle sellers and asked for some donation, grant to build a motorcycle factory. First time he built it, it was unsuccessful and the investors left him, and second time he came up with a very good motor bicycle. And now millions of people are using his technology, millions of people are benefiting from his inventions and his courage and never giving up mode, you know. So it is great people never give up. So we need to work very hard, and in times of this kind of difficult period, we must accept these troubles and as a part of life.